Today we re-diving into one of the most significant moments in sports this year. The NBA 2025-26 season has kicked off, and on opening night the league set a new record. A staggering 135 international players from 43 countries are now on the rosters across all 30 teams. The Times of India, +4 Reuters, +4 AP News, +4. That number, 135, is more than just a statistic. It signals a turning point in basketball's history. The NBA is no longer simply America's league, with occasional overseas talent. It's evolving into a truly global enterprise, where talent, audience, and influence extend to every continent. Let's unpack why this matters, how it happened, and what it means for fans in the USA, the UK, and around the world. First, the raw data. Opening night rosters for the season include players born outside the United States, numbering 135, representing 43 countries across 6 continents. Reuters, +2, NBA, +2. That beats the previous high of 125 non-US players at the start of the 2023-24 season. Reuters +1 of the 135, a record 71 are from Europe alone. AP News, +1 Canada, remains the country outside the US with the most representation, 23 players. Following Canada are France, 19 players, Australia, 13 players, Germany, 7, and Serbia, 6. Reuters, +1. One team is especially noteworthy. The Atlanta Hawks feature 10 international players on their opening night roster, tying the highest number for any team in league history. AP News, and the fact that every NBA team has at least one international player for opening night removes any remaining notion that international representation is the exception. It's now the standard. AP News. So what's driving this surge in global representation? One major factor is how basketball development has evolved around the world. Countries in Europe, Africa, Oceania, and elsewhere have invested heavily in coaching, academies, and youth pipelines aligned with NBA-style standards. The league's efforts through programs like Basketball Without Borders and its international scouting apparatus have widened the talent pool. Add to that the fact that the NBA itself is expanding its global footprint, staging games overseas, securing broadcast deals in dozens of countries, and tapping into international fan bases. That combination makes it increasingly appealing for non-US talent to choose the NBA as their destination. From a competitive standpoint, what does this mean? For one, the best NBA players are no longer a story of US stars dominating with occasional imports. Today's league features multi-MVP winners and all-stars from abroad. For instance, Nikola Jokić, Serbia, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Greece, Nigeria, and Luka Dončić, Slovenia, are just a few examples of international superstars who are at the very top of the NBA ladder. The Times of India, and the data shows the trend. International players have won 4 of the last 7 MVP awards as of this season. AP News. For the fan in the USA or UK, this shift has big implications. Viewing patterns are changing. NBA games used to be a primarily US-centric viewing block. Today they are global events. More international players means more fan engagement in Europe, Asia, Africa, Latin America. And that in turn creates bigger broadcast and streaming opportunities. For your average UK viewer, for instance, a game featuring a European star like Dončić or Wembanyama might carry as much or more appeal than a domestic rivalry because of the wider narrative. For the US viewer, the shift adds richness. The league is no longer homogeneous. Every night you might see a mix of styles and backgrounds, making matchups more unpredictable. It also has business implications. With more international players and more overseas games, merchandise sales, sponsorships, and brand activation outside the United States are higher than ever. The NBA's decision to play regular season games in places like Mexico City, Berlin and London reinforces this strategy. Reuters Palace 1. Another interesting angle is how this influences playing styles. International players frequently bring different tactical emphasis, perhaps stronger fundamentals, more versatile skill sets, or experience in FIBA-style play where roles and structures differ. The convergence of U.S. style, athletic one-on-one dominance, with international style, team off-ball movement, positional flexibility, creates a hybrid game that's evolving. The 2025 season will likely reflect more of that blend, which could result in fewer predictable outcomes and more stylistic variations. It's also a moment of cultural pride. For international players from smaller or less recognized basketball nations, making an opening night roster in the NBA is a massive statement. It says, "We belong here." For fans around the world watching their country's flag represented on the NBA's stage, it's inspiring. It builds connection, which in turn strengthens the league's global reach. Let's reflect on some numbers again. 43 countries represented across 6 continents. 71 European players, nearly half of the international pool. Canada with 23 players, topping the non-US list. The fact that the league has maintained at least 100 international players for 12 consecutive seasons, and now reached 135, shows a sustained trend of globalization, not just a one-off spike. Reuters, Palace 1. What does this mean for the future? The NBA may increasingly shift toward global competition. Discussions are already underway between the NBA and FIBA, International Basketball Federation, about creating a European NBA-style league by as early as 2027. AP News. We may see more international regular season games, new marketing models, and maybe even changes in how the All-Star Game or championships are structured to reflect the global game. One concept that's gaining traction, a US versus World All-Star format, which makes sense given how much global talent now populates the league. Blazers Edge. For your channel viewers, especially those in the USA and UK, this is a story not just about basketball, but about globalization, talent pipelines, and international culture meeting American sports. It has a chance to explore narratives such as which countries are producing the most talent now, which NBA teams are leading in international representation. How will this affect watching habits in the UK? Will the style of play change as the league becomes more global? In short, the 2025-26 NBA opening night isn't just another season start. It marks a milestone in the league's evolution. The 135 international players tell a story of change, expansion, and diversity. They reflect how the game of basketball continues to transcend borders and become more inclusive, competitive, and global.